Welcome back to the deep dive. We've got some really interesting source material you sent over this time.
Yeah, it's a Blinkist summary of Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi.
Exactly. And we're going to really get into one of the core ideas from it today.
Which is?
Well, just how absolutely vital building and, using a strong personal network is if you're actually serious about your career.
Mm-hmm. So we've got Ferrazzi's key points here.
Mm-hmm.
And the mission for our listeners, I guess, is to pull out the really useful stuff, the actionable bits.
Right. How can you build this network without it just feeling like, oh, great, another thing I have to do, make it less overwhelming?
Totally. And maybe to kick things off, there's a pretty startling statistic in there.
Oh, yeah, that one jumped out at me, too. Tell everyone.
Okay, so get this. One study showed that 56%, over half of people, found their jobs through personal contacts.
56%? Wow.
Yeah. Compare that to like 19% from job ads.
And only 10% from just, sending in applications cold.
Exactly. It really, it hits home where the real opportunities often lie, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, so let's unpack this. Why is having this network so fundamental? What's the big idea?
Well, the main point, I think, is that nobody really achieves significant success totally alone. It just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
We all depend on other people for opportunities, for support, even just for different viewpoints that help us grow.
The book uses that analogy, right? About building a house.
Yeah, like trying to build your career house without a network is like building it on sand.
It might look okay for a bit.
But when things get tough, when the pressure's on, there's just no solid foundation. It trembles.
That's a really good way to put it. And the sources definitely hammered home that this gets even more critical when the economy is shaky.
Absolutely. If you're feeling that uncertainty, this is like double important.
Yeah.
In times with, more layoffs, less job security, having that network just gives you so many more options.
Right. People who know you, who can vouch for you.
Exactly. And who might hear about jobs that aren't even posted anywhere. Plus, there's this long-term angle.
What's that?
Like the person who's an assistant today. They could easily be a CEO down the road.
Ah, right. And that's where being known and actually liked really matters. The book talks about being generous, friendly, helpful.
Precisely. These aren't just like nice to haves. They're the actual building blocks.
You're investing in future success with every positive interaction.
You got it. Now, okay, let's be real. For a lot of people, the idea of networking, it feels kind of icky or just plain scary.
Yeah, that fear of rejection is huge. It stops people.
Totally. But the good news here, according to Ferrazzi, is that networking, it's a skill, something you can actually learn and improve.
Yes, that really stuck with me. It's not just for, the super extroverted types.
Yep. Even if you're more introverted, there are actual concrete things you can do.
Like what? What were the tips?
Well, one is just to watch people who are good at it, observe them.
See how they start conversations, how they follow up.
Yeah, what questions they ask. Another is to actively, consciously work on your communication skills.
Like taking a course or just practicing explaining your ideas.
Exactly. Honing that ability to connect. And then probably the biggest one.
Just doing it.
Just doing it. Practice. The book suggests aiming to meet just one new person a week.
That feels manageable, actually. Not so scary.
Right. Each chat, even a quick one, is practice. It builds the muscle.
Yeah.
And there's that amazing story about Ferrazzi's own father.
Oh, yeah, the laborer.
A blue-collar worker, right?
Yeah.
Who got up the nerve to approach the head of the whole company, his boss's boss's boss.
Just because he wanted a better shot for his son.
And that one act of courage, the head of the firm ended up paying for Ferrazzi's education.
Wow. That's a serious aha moment right there. Shows what can happen when you just reach out.
Totally. Unexpected doors opening.
Okay, so we get why it's crucial, and we know it's a skill we can develop. So what's the actual foundation? How do you do it right? It's not about just taking, is it?
No, not at all. That's the fundamental shift. It's moving from what can I get to how can I help other people.
Because that's key.
And it's not just about being nice, though that helps, obviously. It's strategic.
How so?
The more genuinely you help others without immediately expecting something back, the more trust you build. Goodwill.
Like putting deposits in the relationship bank.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And then people are just more likely to want to help you later on. The book used that analogy about relationships not being like a limited pie.
Right. It's not zero sum. If you help someone, it doesn't mean there's less for you.
Exactly. Relationships are more like muscles. The more you use them, the stronger they get for everyone involved.
That makes sense.
And the flip side is also true. If you're always just looking out for yourself, always ungenerous.
People notice that. They pull away.
Yeah, you end up isolated, especially when you actually do need help. Nobody wants to be around someone who's only in it for themselves.
Definitely not. And it's not just about work favors either, is it? The book mentioned loyalty in a broader sense.
Yes, showing up for people, offering emotional support, helping with stuff outside of work sometimes.
Little things can make a big difference.
Absolutely. Even a small investment of time, a thoughtful gesture, can build really strong, long-lasting connections. It's about being a supportive human, not just a contact.
Okay. Which brings us to timing. This is critical.
Yeah.
When should you be doing all this network building?
Well, the one time you shouldn't be doing it is when you're already desperate.
Right. The analogy about buying safety vests after the ship is sinking, so good.
It's perfect, isn't it? It shows the huge mistake of only reaching out when you need something right now.
So it has to be proactive.
Yes, build the relationships, build that trust before you need to draw on it. You definitely don't want to be that networking nuisance.
Ugh, yeah. The person who only shows up with their hand out, insincere, exploitative.
Most people see right through that.
Yeah.
Good networkers, the book says, are patient. It's a long game.
Like a marathon runner, not a sprinter.
Exactly. Consistent effort over time. Think about that Bill Clinton example.
Documenting everyone he met, even as a student.
Yeah, at 22. Just consistently making notes, being friendly, being interested. That's building the foundation, brick by brick.
Okay, so consistency, patience. And it sounds like the quality of the connection matters more than just the number of LinkedIn contacts, right? Which leads to this idea of relationship glues. What are those exactly?
Relationship glues are basically those shared interests or activities that help you bond with people on a deeper level.
So not just work talk.
Right. It could be loving the same sports team, a hobby like hiking or photography, even sharing similar views on certain things, finding that common ground outside of the professional context.
Because that lets you connect more personally.
Yeah, it helps build a stronger, more genuine bond. That's why connecting outside the office, maybe grabbing coffee or lunch, is so valuable. People are often more relaxed, more themselves.
Makes total sense. So you can build real connections.
Definitely. And when you are talking, the quality of that conversation matters hugely. The advice is to get past the superficial small talk by being genuinely attentive, listening, being honest, open, trying to share something interesting about yourself or learn something truly insightful from them.
That makes you memorable in a good way.
Exactly. Makes people actually want to connect with you again. Be someone people enjoy spending time with.
Which kind of ties into this idea that being a good networker takes, well, a certain sociability, maybe, and definitely patience. Almost like the book compared it to Hollywood stars.
Yeah, needing that constant connection with their audience is a really good parallel, actually.
Both need consistent effort to stay connected, stay relevant.
Totally. And the examples of successful people really drive it home. Like a CEO who deliberately walks around and connects with employees every day.
Or Hillary Clinton's schedule, shaking, what was it, thousands of hands?
Something like 2,000 hands a day and trying to remember names.
Yeah.
That's serious dedication to building and maintaining those ties. It shows the effort involved.
It really does paint a picture. Okay, so beyond being sociable and patient, the book also talks about having something to say, having a unique message. Why is that so important?
Well, it kind of boils down to, would someone want to spend an hour having dinner with you? Are you engaging?
Okay.
You need to be able to hold intelligent conversations on different topics, current events, your industry, maybe even interesting hobbies. That makes you more, well, interesting.
But it's more than just being a good conversationalist,
Right.
right? There's this unique message part.
Yeah, going a step further, developing something that makes you stand out. Could be an idea you're really passionate about, a skill you've mastered, an area where people see you as the go-to expert.
That's what really grabs attention, makes people want you in their network.
Exactly. And the book is clear. This takes real work. You need to gain actual in-depth knowledge.
Like Ferrazzi himself becoming a marketing expert.
Precisely. Through continuous learning, engaging in the field, you need substance behind your message to really offer value in your connections.
Got it. So be interesting and have something valuable to contribute. Now, what about these super connectors the book mentions? Who are they?
Super connectors are basically people with massive, diverse networks, thousands of contacts across lots of different fields.
Okay. Why do they matter to the average person building their network?
Well, think back to Stanley Milgram's experiments in the 60s, the 6 degrees of separation stuff.
Right.
Those experiments showed that messages often ended up funneling through the same few individuals, Those were the superconnectors. They act as central hubs, like bridges connecting different groups of people.
Wow. So they can really multiply your reach. The book mentions specific jobs where you find them.
Yeah, often in fields like politics, lobbying, journalism, PR, even well-connected restaurant managers or event planners.
Because their jobs naturally involve meeting tons of different people.
Exactly. So for someone building their network, strategically connecting with people in those kinds of roles can be a really powerful way to expand your own reach significantly, access new circles.
That's a really smart strategic insight. Thinking about the natural hubs. Okay, shifting gears slightly. All this effort, it needs direction, right? The book really stresses having clear goals in this thing called a networking action plan, or NAP. Why is that structure so important?
Because, well, success rarely just happens, You need to figure out what you actually want first, your big life and career goals.
And then make a plan to get there.
Right. The book talks about finding your blue flame.
Your blue flame?
Yeah, it's that sweet spot where your deepest passions meet your actual talents and abilities. Finding that is key for making choices that are genuinely fulfilling long-term.
Avoiding that feeling of just being stuck in the wrong job. And there's a simple test for it.
Pretty much. List your dreams. List what you actually enjoy doing. Find the overlap.
And getting feedback from people you trust about your strengths and weaknesses, too.
Crucial. Once you have a better sense of that blue flame, the NAP becomes your roadmap, your tool.
It translates the big dream into actual steps.
Exactly. It gives you structure, a to-do list, and it keeps you motivated, keeps you focused.
Yeah, and NFP itself involves different time frames, like short-term, long-term.
Yep. Setting 3-year goals, 1-year goals, even 3-month goals. It gives you a framework. And the idea of having A goals and B goals adds flexibility.
Like a backup plan.
Sort of. Then, for each goal, you identify, where do I need to be? What tools do I need? And super relevant here, who in my network can help me achieve this?
So it connects your networking directly to your goals, very personalized.
Very. It makes your networking intentional, not just random.
Okay, intentionality is key. Another really interesting concept was building your personal brand, like a company. How does that work for a person?
Well, think about brands like, I don't know, Adidas or Apple. They make you think or feel certain things, right? They have an image, expectations.
Sure.
You as an individual can cultivate that too. Your personal brand is how others perceive you. It's your reputation, basically.
And you can actually shape that consciously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Step 1 is figuring out your core message, like a 2-sentence branding statement.
How do you do that?
By asking, what makes me unique? What are my strengths? What have I achieved? How do I want people to see me? What do I want to be known for?
Okay, defining the brand. Then what?
Then you think about the packaging. Your clothes, how you talk, your business card, your online presence. Does it all align with the image you want?
Consistency.
Yep. And finally, you need to be your own PR agent. Seek positive attention, take on cool projects, share good ideas, and actively avoid negative attention.
Be deliberate about how you show up. Got it. Okay, last big piece. Mentors. Why are they so incredibly valuable?
Well, the book uses great comparisons, music, sports, apprenticeships.
Right, you always learn from someone more experienced.
Exactly. Having those guides, those coaches who can share wisdom, offer insights, it's invaluable. Mentorship helps junior people, obviously, but even senior folks benefit, especially now when things change so fast.
And being around successful people helps you become more successful.
Definitely. Surrounding yourself with successful, well-connected people absolutely influences your own path and helps grow your network. Your peer group matters a lot.
It's like their success and connections can rub off, helping you grow faster. Okay, wow. This has been a really thorough look at building that network.
Yeah, it really boils down to being open, being determined, and having genuine empathy, understanding yourself and appreciating others.
So quick recap.
Yeah.
We hit on generosity being fundamental.
Building proactively before you're desperate.
Finding those relationship glues, those shared interests.
To having something interesting to say, a unique message.
And the power of goals, that networking action plan, and definitely mentors.
You got it. All key pieces.
So for everyone listening, maybe a final thought to chew on. What's one small, specific thing you could do, like today, to nurture one connection you already have, or maybe reach out to someone new?
Ooh, good question. Or thinking about that blue flame idea.
Yeah.
How could a stronger network actually help you ignite that passion further? What opportunities might open up?
Lots to think about. And if you want more practical, step-by-step stuff,
The book Coffee Lunch Coffee by Ilana Muller is apparently a great, really hands-on resource for networking tactics.
Perfect. Look, building a powerful network, it's definitely an ongoing journey, isn't it?
For sure. It takes time and real effort.
But as these insights from Never Eat Alone really highlight, the payoff, the long-term rewards for doing it genuinely and consistently, they can be absolutely huge for your career and honestly, probably for your life too.
Couldn't agree more.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.